I think the dream of flight is one of mankind's oldest. It's taken us thousands of years to achieve, and today it's within almost everyone's grasp. When I started hang gliding in 1974, I was only 13 years old. I couldn't even drive a car yet. The safety of every pilot is his own responsibility. So you make sure before you fly that you've checked over every nut, every bolt, every tube, and every cable. You go over the glider and your harness in a systematic way to make certain that everything is just as it should be. I always fly with 2 parachutes. These are necessary, especially at a place like Fort Funston, where the possibility of a mid-air collision is very real. These parachutes are designed for hang gliding and will slowly lower both the pilot and the glider to the ground in an emergency. One of my chutes is deployed by an explosive charge and can be used as low as 100 feet off the ground. But these are only prudent precautions. I've been flying for nearly 20 years now with never so much as a skinned knee. We can fly at Fort Funston almost every day of the year. Some days the winds are very light though, and we really have to get back from launch and run very hard so that we can get enough speed so that when we leave the cliff edge, the glider's flying. On other days, when the winds are 20, 30 miles an hour, it may take 2 or 3 other hang glider pilots to hold the glider down as we walk to the cliff edge. When we're ready to go, we're right out there with our toes on the edge of the cliff. We yell clear, and everyone lets go together, and you're in for a real fast glass elevator ride. It can get pretty crowded in the air sometimes at Fort Funston. It's not uncommon to have 12, 13, 14 gliders up at one time. We have right-of-way rules. When gliders are heading head-on to each other, they always give way to the right, and a glider circling never has the right-of-way over a glider that's just flying up and down the cliff. We have pilots out here that got 3,000 hours in the air, and other people that are probably on their very first soaring flights, and they're thinking about a lot more than just the traffic. So it's important to always fly very defensively out here and give everybody a lot of extra room. Even among hang glider pilots, aerobatic maneuvers are considered pretty cutting edge. It's not that they in themselves are dangerous, but the margins for error are pretty small, and the consequences are pretty severe. It's a precision part of the sport. It's kind of like figure skating rather than just a test of nerves. The feeling of hang gliding is really hard to describe. It's very comfortable. It's not physically tiring. You aren't really aware of your control motions once they become automatic. You can just relax and enjoy the freedom of being a bird.
a 20-knot headwind right now at altitude.
Fort Funston is really a unique hang gliding site. It's one of the few places where you can take your glider off your car, set up 20 feet away, walk out to a cliff edge, and take off and soar for a couple hours. When you're ready to come in and land, you circle around behind the cliff, and you can land just 15 or 20 feet from your car, break your glider down, and head home, all within a few hours of time.
There's two white things on the water, and I think those two are boats, aren't they?
Those are over there, yeah. Going opposite. But you can see some white caps between those two ships out there.
Oh, yeah.
Stacy, I was 33 miles out.
We've got airline pilots, we've got lawyers, musicians, engineers, surgeons, construction workers, even a few retired people. Some of them don't even have jobs out here. I think for feeling a lot of them took up hang gliding and decided, hey, this is much too fun to be working.
Probably to start fogging up again pretty soon.
The legend of Icarus and Daedalus is interesting because it goes back not only to man's eternal dream of flight, but also his perception of flight as foolhardy. Icarus perished because he ignored his wise father's warnings and lost sight of his craft's limitations. But people forget Daedalus, his father, understood and respected the dangers of flight and flew successfully, escaping the island to live out his days.